And a very pleasant good evening, and we welcome you to Ventura College Soccer here on SoCalCollegeSports.com and the VC Sports Network tonight. A Western State North matchup between the Ventura College Pirates and the visiting Moorpark College Raiders. Jeff Stoynoff, Joey Hoffman with you from the VC Sportsplex. And Joey's second meeting between these two teams this season. 3 straight wins in this matchup for the Pirates against the Raiders. And the matchup thus far would seem to be Alex Tirado, the leading scorer for the Pirates, against that back line for the Raiders. Tirado accounted for both goals in the 2-1 win earlier this season. How does that matchup really continue to adjust? Because obviously the Raiders know that the Pirates want to get it to Tirado, and they have to adjust, but the Pirates also have to find a way to continue to find their leading scorer.
It'll be interesting to see if the back line steps higher up the field throughout the game and leave space in behind, or if they try and double team Alex. The hard thing that any team's got to understand is sometimes it's hard to mark players that are that great and they just score as many goals as they do. But I do think, that it's possible, but then also Ventura College has quite a few other threats besides that. So if they focus too much on that, it could open them up in other areas. And, in the past playing, there's been a big difference in the kind of outsides and Ventura College stepping higher up to press, but also Moorpark College not getting enough players up the field, which ultimately that'll have a big effect in the outcome of the game.
One other advantage that the Pirates would seem to have is a veteran midfield. All 3 midfielders returning sophomores for this team. How does that help the Pirates in terms of continuing to facilitate that offense on the front line?
It helps a lot, but unfortunately within the realm of soccer in Ventura College this year, there's been games where they've played through the midfield and those players get to play a big part in the game. And then there's been a couple of games where Ventura College have decided to go very direct because they have Alex up top. So if they can find a balance between playing direct, maybe in behind to Alex or feet and underneath, and at times sometimes playing through the midfield, I think the game's going to be all about balance. And the biggest thing is it'll be interesting to see how Moorpark comes out to defend against both of those.
Yeah, Steve Hoffman planning for both eventualities, talks about wanting to set up the offense with that long ball, but recognizing that the Raiders continue to adjust, seeing this team season after season, and that they might have to make that move to work the ball up through the midfield. And we will wait and see how that plays out. We are moments away from getting started here. Moorpark and Ventura. It's Ventura College Soccer here on SoCalCollegeSports.com and the VC Sports Network.
Yeah, and I think ultimately this game, to me, is going to be decided based on if either team leaves too much space and doesn't step up. In the past games, there's been huge space, and it almost allows Moorpark College players to get the ball turned and play big behind Ventura College. And if Ventura College, as obviously weird as it sounds, if they're attacking but the outside backs and center backs are stepping up to press, then Moorpark College shouldn't be able to get out of their half. But and I know this game, Moorpark against Ventura College, nothing is as easily predicted, and who knows what can happen.
The Raiders come in winners of 2 straight off the forfeit win at Cuesta, but a win against Oxnard before that, so they come in at 5-7-5 overall, but on a streak. Meanwhile, Ventura lost a heartbreaker 3-1 against division-leading Santa Barbara. 2 red cards in that matchup. Ventura finishes that game going 11-9, eventually falling 3-1. But Steve Hoffman felt good about that performance by the Pirates, and it's just one of those things that happens, but they look to get back to their winning ways. They are 7-7-3 on the season coming into tonight. Moorpark in the white jerseys, the Pirates in the black. Franco steps in front, tries to play it ahead, looking for Arrieta.
Looks like Moorpark starting in a 4-4-2, so Ventura College needs to make an adjustment for that. One of the outside backs either needs to step into the midfield and have 2 marking and 1 extra. Now it kind of looks actually opposite of what I just said, because I said it as that works, and now it looks more like a 4-3-3.
Interesting that Tirado starts out on the right. The word that we had was that Tirado actually works a little more from the left, tries to work it back to her right. She's got the powerful right leg, and that's where a lot of the shots come from. This is Tirado and has that one poked away and out of play.
Yeah, Ventura College this year have done pretty well on corner kicks. The sun right now is right in the keeper's eyes. I think some of the Ventura College players have a bit of a height advantage. They've done well at striking the ball and getting in the box and actually getting people on the ball. But kind of as you can see at the back right here, if they leave Moorpark center forward wide open on a quick transition, there might be trouble. But Ventura, here we go.
First set piece toward the near post and played not all the way out, and the Pirates will have a chance to set something up. One-timer looking for the far side. And out of play, it'll go back to Moorpark. They were trying to get Arrieta off that far post.
It'll be interesting to see who starts winning the ball in the center here on these types of goal kicks and punts. I think Ventura College can keep the ball in their half. They'll be very successful getting Alex on the ball with more opportunities.
Franco tracks it down. This is Valerie Hernandez.
It's good. They're looking to knock the ball around 4 or 5 passes.
Looking to get something started on the far side, and the pass out in front, not a play.
Yeah, that's got to be defeat. That can't go out.
Well, the Pirates have done a lot of good work to set up the pressure, but then the pass just offline.
Yeah, I think, if you're looking at it on paper, Ventura College should potentially win this game. And the question becomes, how do they win it? Is it knocking the ball around? Is it playing direct? Are they matching up tight? They're doing a pretty good job now looking at it. They got an extra play at the back, so if one goes over, she should be able to sort that out. Good, solid win of the header there, but second ball in the midfield they got to do a better job with. And allowing that forward or midfielder to check back, get the ball and turn. But did a really good job of forcing that ball out and pressing after the fact.
Preciado plays that one out. Throw in coming for Moorpark. Well, it's a very tight top of the division in the Western State North. Santa Barbara coming in at 7-0-1, but Allen Hancock right on their heels at 6-1-1. But L.A. Pearson Ventura 5-2-2, 5-3. So a lot still to be decided here in the last couple of weeks of this season, both in terms of the conference championship, but also in terms of playoff seeding. And that's something that Steve Hoffman's very aware of after a great season a season ago. First Western State North win in 5 years for the Pirates. But they go out in the second round, and this year a much different record, but a different decision as they elect to go with a much tougher schedule this year. So the record doesn't really show it, but Hoffy looks like he wants to get this team playoff ready and not worrying so much about the record.
Yeah, the hardest thing is winning leagues, right? Because it's consistency game in and game out. Great ball over the top. Shot.
Yeah, Kuhn from about 30 yards out and just sends it wide.
And that's kind of the pressure I'm talking about in the midfield there. You can't allow those players to get the ball, turn and have a look at goal. But to get back to kind of what you're saying is, the Santa Barbara game's always spicy, gets a bit heated. Obviously, my dad got the girls pretty pumped up and maybe a little too pumped up. But at the end of the day, they're in that running, and it's all about getting to the playoffs. Torado with
centering
the ball.
Pass just over the crossbar.
Great ball through, great ball in, and you can see how dangerous and quick the game can change. Moorpark had a good shot from distance, one through ball into Alex. I do think it should have just been a softer touch past the keeper and a goal, but she's got more in a bag of tricks. She'll be putting herself on the scoreboard, I believe, this game.
Yeah, working against Malia Baker, and Baker did just enough maybe to bother that shot from Torado, who sent it just over the crossbar.
Yeah, she did well to step out off a line and make sure she had to make a quick decision. Ventura College again wins the ball off this goal kick, plays a big one down the line, which, it's okay to mix it up, but you're going to lose possession sometimes, and that becomes a 50-50.
Pirates in the early going, controlling time of possession. That one sent out of play, throw in coming for the Raiders.
It'd be nice to see her take a touch there, maybe play back to the goalie and switch it to the other side, because as you may be looking on camera, most of the Moorpark team is in this side in almost a quarter of the field or a sixth of the field. So if they can open up and switch it, I think they'll be really successful. It's just a lot easier said than done.
Well, Moorpark took the lead in the first matchup between these two teams on a goal by Alana Nickerson before Torado came back with a couple of goals to win it 2-1, and you have the feeling as an interception and a possible counter for the Raiders. Another long shot coming and an easy stop for Isa Garcia. But you have the feeling that the Raiders would love to just keep this 0-0 and get to maybe about the 80th minute and see if they could put one in and get out of here.
You know, the difference maker for me is Moorpark's field is more like a postage stamp and it's square. So it's a little bit different of a game on that field. When you're playing on this field, being a little bit longer and wider and bigger, you know, it opens them up a bit more on their field. It's a little bit more square and easier to kind of sit in and catch people on the counter, which, as you can see now, they've got one center forward high up top, and they're going to look to play her or into her underneath and through. But I think if VC keeps doing what they're doing, I think there's a good chance they can hopefully get a goal before halftime potentially.
Looking to switch the attack to the near side. Arietta battling and ultimately wins it.
Like to see that movement from Alex. She's playing on that right side to cut in. It's kind of the opposite of Liverpool, Mane and Salah used to do, which is, you know, cut in to take those shots. I think she's cutting in to combine a little bit more, but obviously get those runs inside, where she's starting outside and getting it inside. So it'd be great to see if she can get it out wide, beat the player, cut in, and then maybe get a shot. But the one thing with her, she can do multiple different things, and she's a really good player.
Raiders with another steal, but the Pirates win it back.
The forward's got to do a better job of stepping to that ball.
Looking for Arietta, but the Raiders get the steal with Rachel Barnes stepping in front, but the Pirates again quickly win it back.
Yeah, it's only early in the game, but I think this is good for Ventura College to kind of slow it down a bit and connect passes. You know, in these types of games, the more you make the other team run, obviously, they're going to get tired. And this could be a game that if you can make them chase as much as possible or stretch them out or pull them out, it's a lot easier to get in. And kind of like you mentioned, you know, I'm sure Moorpark would love to get to the 88th minute with a tie, but if they do get to that, they'll have ran a lot by the time they get there. So Ventura College just needs to maybe, you know, play feet a bit and connect a bit of passes, but direct ball into the middle. You know, I got to start with some players more central if we're going to play that ball.
And the pressure on the ball that we were promised when we talked to Steve Hoffman this week, the Pirates were going to employ has been effective as well. It feels right now as though the Pirates aren't particularly concerned that the Raiders are really going to be able to mount a sustained attack. They're going right after the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is if there's pressure on the ball, whether it's the pass that goes big or the ball that's in, you're not going to allow them to get higher up the field. And it kind of looks like past games I've seen Ventura College play Moorpark, where they play with one lone striker, and they're looking to win it and counter and play to her. So if you can cut that off and even balls into the midfield, they'll be successful. And also, you know, after quite a while having just one forward, it becomes tough psychologically for you as a team if you're defending. I mean, we're only, 9 minutes into the game, and you know, Moorpark have had a couple of shots, but it's kind of been against the run of play.
Cleared out toward midfield. Looking for Nickerson. But back to Merlos. Gets it back on the give and go. Merlos getting it on the right foot. Long pass. Baker had it momentarily, but the Pirates keep it. Played to the corner. And a shot from a tough angle out of play and a goal kick coming.
Yeah, you got to put that on target. You know, the sun is still directly in that goalkeeper's eyes, and you put it on target or in a dangerous area, anything can happen.
Yeah, Natalie Romero, the keeper for the Raiders. Another long pass out to midfield, momentarily won by the Pirates. And again, they look to get that long ball to Nickerson, giving chase against Preciado, and Preciado clears it out. And down she goes, and a whistle comes in.
Yeah, a little bit of a foul. I love when players put their hands up as if, what did I do? And, you know, you kicked it was a foul. But the reality is that's what Moorpark's going to look to do more often. And Ventura College almost got caught out because they had two players flat, and one of them should just step back 5 steps, and that doesn't happen. But it's very easy to say. It's like in the run of play, you just got to make sure they're talking and organizing. The referee's talking to her a little bit and saying basically, hey, listen, I don't speak to you that way, don't speak to me that way, and let's not do that again.
Referee tonight, Luis Gutierrez. And center back is another position where the Pirates have good experience as well with both Preciado and Tiscareno returning.
Yeah, they do. They do well. Right now, you can see there's a bit of depth provided at the back, which makes a huge difference. But that's going to be key. You can't let Nickerson have that time to get the ball or get him behind you.
Mordecai loses it, but the Pirates regain with Merlos. Merlos on the run has that one stolen. Gabriel tries to play the soft pass, but it ends up still with the Raiders. Now Nickerson with a lane, trying to dial up the shot. Sent right of the box, played up top. This is the longest sustained effort for the Raiders in the Pirate zone. Long shot blocked at the point.
Yeah, Ventura need to either step up as a group or one's got to have a bit of depth. They got to give Moorpark center forward Nickerson a bit more respect and have a bit of depth, because that could have easily potentially ended up in a goal and just off of a simple ball, one pass through. So there could have been a hint of offside if we had VAR, but right now we're not at that level of a budget, but we're trying.
Seen a couple of balls here in the early going with passes that are just simply stolen. Just a step in front, clean steals for the Raiders. Pirates looking to make an adjustment at this point?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? You can't say just clear it big all the time, but the reality is that some of the passing 5-10 yards, for these girls has got to be better. Or if you're under pressure, it's okay to play it wide and high, because you've got people like Alex out wide that if you give her the ball, who knows what can happen. So you make the other team's fullbacks make mistakes, and you don't get caught making your mistakes and losing possession.
Pirates back in possession. We're in the 13th minute. Still scoreless. Pirate Soccer on the VC Sports Network. Again, they try the long pass. Well, this was to be the plan for the Pirates, but we've seen the Raiders go to it. Gabriel tries to center one up, and it's cleared out by the Pirates. We'll have a throw-in coming in the Pirate zone.
Got to give a little respect to Moorpark, because, to be honest with you, they're getting players higher up the field, and they're looking like a threat, And once or twice before I've seen that this game, they've kind of sat back a bit. So, irregardless of who's won what, they're doing a good job of getting numbers higher up the box, getting into the box, and creating opportunities.
Barnes with the throw-in. Merlos steps in front, clears it back to center, still with the Raiders. Hernandez tries to head it clear, but not all the way out. Now does get to Arrieta. Arrieta with a head up. Looking to get it back on the give and go. Cleared out, and the Raiders can set up.
Yeah, Ventura, if Alex pushes a bit wider, if she tucks in, and they can get a player up on that far side, I think they're going to be, a little bit more successful, because when they tuck everybody in like that, it just gets in a tighter space, and it's hard to play that pass. Unfortunately, there's been a couple of passes that have just gone straight out of bounds in the midfield, so you kind of mentioned that midfield three. They got to do a little bit better on that.
For a substitution as Alexa Arrieta heads out. I believe this is Daisy Cisneros. I haven't quite been able to get the number down.
Yeah, when you get our age, mate, your eyes start to go a bit,
Even with the glasses. This is Cisneros.
I'm psychic. If you get it wide, good things will happen, mate. I'm telling you. And again, if they can get it wide again and stretch Moorpark out a bit, there could be some success. Last thing you really want to do is give Alex that amount of time on the ball, even though she just kind of turned and hoofed it out wide. But Moorpark did a decent job there of clearing the ball and getting it out of pressure.
Well, you got to be so focused on number 9. It's got to create some nice passing lanes.
Yeah, it's interesting because, you look at the stats and you think, hey, I'm just going to have somebody full-time mark that player. Because if she doesn't score, we've got a good chance of winning. But you don't often see teams do that. But it's also very hard as a player to just play a totally destructive role all game. What a turn by Alex.
Tries to center it up, but the Raiders are there. Back out, and the Pirates will have another throw-in on the far side. Take a look at that turn one more time.
was a good little fake to get to the keeper to get the ball. The sun's not as much in her eyes. These punts are big, making sure you don't let them out the half, so making sure that the outside backs step up to the players so they can't get a flick.
Romero out to midfield, looking for Kuhn. Down she goes.
Might have been a foul, to be honest, but no one's perfect.
And the Pirates just lose it. Turnover for Federis. And a chance for the Raiders.
Yeah, Ventura College now have an extra player in the back, which is huge in this game. You can't let them just play one ball behind you and cause major chaos.
Is that an adjustment in game that we've seen from the start of the game? Because we've seen a couple of long balls.
Yeah, it's tough in the flow as a player, right? It's like chewing gum and walking and texting at the same time. It's hard to do. So it's very easy for us to sit and watch, but it's something they just got to communicate a little bit more and make sure you have that, because it's kind of the opposite of what we talk about with Alex, right? You know what Moorpark's bigger threat is, so you just got to have one marking and one extra, and it'll make a big difference.
Pirates on the throw-in. Cleared away. And Nickerson going to run out of room.
That's kind of a good example, though, that someone needs to be a little bit tighter on her because, yeah, the ball went out of bounds. But if she gets that ball, she's got enough time to turn and have a look at goal or even connect to get more players forward. And you just want to make sure you can cut that out. But if you look again, most of the field everybody's on that opposite side of the field. So switching the ball or playing it back and switching it could really help to Ventura College's advantage. Ventura College has got to start polishing up some of these passes in the midfield because, a 5-yard pass with the inside of the foot right there, you got to make that pass.
Yeah, several turnovers here in the first half of this first half. Meanwhile, another long pass looking for Tirado. Bracketed on both sides, and it's out of bounds, but off of Moorpark. So mission accomplished for the Pirates. They'll get the throw-in in the Raider zone, and they want to move quickly.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, the Ventura College needs to get a couple more numbers in the box and, at some point getting those crosses in there, putting them in a dangerous area. But, neither team has looked too kind of like they were going to call and score a goal. But I think the game still is early, 20 minutes or less, and you're kind of working out the opposition a bit, the nerves.
Played back, the one-timer out in front of the goal, and Romero wins the race with Tirado bearing down.
And it looks like they've switched Tirado's out to that left side now, but you would like, if you're coaching, for your players to naturally do that because obviously it causes quite a bit of confusion for the other team's defense. That's the little flick we talked about. Another ball played down the line, which
looking
is
for the quick counter,
dangerous.
and they want Aaliyah Baez. Baez centers the header on goal, and a save for Garcia.
And if you go back, that came from a couple of silly, not pressing the ball, a flick that wasn't there, and tracking your runner and matching up tight.
Going to watch the replay here. Down at field level, and there was a good opportunity early with Tirado, but that far and away the best opportunity for Moorpark, maybe the best opportunity in the game for either team.
Yeah, it's not an easy one to head, but, I guarantee you she'll wish she had it again to get it more directed to a corner.
Raiders will have the throw in here in the 20th minute.
There you go again, giving a little bit too much time on the ball.
Preciado tries an interior feed, and that one stolen again. Chance for the Raiders looking for the counter.
Should be offside.
And
Good
there
call,
is the
ref.
whistle.
Yeah, and I think Moorpark's doing a good job. To me, right now, they've created some better-looking opportunities. Ventura College is struggling a little bit in the midfield with connecting as much as they can. They had a little spell of connecting some good passes out the back through the midfield, and that's when they look very good. And right now, they've gone a little bit quiet on getting that ball in the other team's half.
Yeah, the Pirates have been decidedly unsteady over the last 10 or 15 minutes with some careless passing. Good
Moorpark's
pressure.
midfield. They're doing a
Hernandez
great
with
job.
the steal. And down she goes, and a whistle comes in, and a free kick coming for the Pirates.
Yeah, you can't kick it like that. You got to try and kick the ball. But it's funny if you watch the video and you get to see the replay, and you zoom out and you see how many people are staring at the ball. This is a game of stop staring at the ball. Where's the man? Where's the space to run into? And the moment you start doing that, you'll start to see positive things happen.
You get the feeling there that was good hard play from Valerie Hernandez, one of the captains on this team, and maybe that's a captain recognizing the ebb and flow of the game because she stepped it up in intensity right there and had the steal and then gets the whistle.
Yeah, as a player, she knows. They're tracking it. They know they're not connecting passes. So every once in a while, you got to step it up a little bit and start winning those balls. But you got to connect it and play it out as quick as we can.
Long pass looking for Tirado, sent up and over the bar. And a corner kick coming, second corner for the Pirates.
Yeah, Moorpark is going to hope and pray this doesn't go in because that goalkeeper should have shouted loud keeper so we can hear it up here in the booth. Goes right in the hands and it's nice and safe.
Sasha Franco along with Hernandez. We'll see who takes the corner. And it'll be Franco.
This could be dangerous. They got quite a few numbers in the box. It's going to be all about the service.
Franco again. Just sent it inside the post.
Yeah,
and out of play.
Those few opportunities, you got to do a better job. At least get it on the field and make the other team make a mistake. Ventura College is at the back. They've got 4-on-4 near enough. And they got to pull midfielders back. They'll be in trouble.
Long pass, and the Pirates continue to have their way well. Here comes a whistle, and this time the Raiders will keep it.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if that's a foul, to be honest with you. But sometimes someone falls on the ground, they call it. But the referee does a good job. I've had him for quite a few games at every level. He does well. Yeah, unfortunately, she kind of turned her back on her and fell into a little bit of sandwich action, which is at times a foul.
Looking for Kuhn. Kuhn left of the box. Pressure coming from the Pirates, who will play it out.
And Kuhn's done well so far. Couple of runs she's made, couple of balls she's played in. She's doing quite a good job.
The Raider front line overall has been solid, if nothing else, bringing significant pressure on that back line for the Pirates.
They're doing a good job. They're getting in dangerous areas. They might potentially been offside right here. I called it before the ref. But the reality is they're putting them under pressure. And, you can't just say Ventura College's defense is not doing well. You got to take your hat off and give credit where credit is deserved. And right now they're doing a good job of putting it in a dangerous area.
Yeah, Kuhn was so free and clear. There was a chance I could have made that call. That's
that's
saying something.
That's what when you could say a blind man could see that, mate. It's not the best of calls, or the easiest, obviously. But Kuhn's actually playing. It looks like as a left forward, but she's doing a good job of staying high and making runs out wide to receive it. This is kind of what I talked about, though. Ventura College needs to step their backs up a bit, keeping players higher up the field and not allowing them out.
And so far, as you watch Toronto working in the middle, there appear to be two white jerseys in the area of Alex Tirado every time that the ball has come anywhere close to her.
Yeah, she's had pressure on her, but she's just got to get, a little bit more into the flow of game and, maybe get a good shot off on target. And right now she's just not necessarily having that quality looks at goals. And, there's times where she's just kind of turning and kicking it, but first, you need a little bit of luck, don't get me wrong, but I think we need to play some players higher up the field.
And we do have a Moorpark player down.
Yeah, it looks like she twisted her ankle or maybe a knee a little bit. That's the hard thing when you play it on the turf field. Sometimes you catch your cleats on the turn, but all the players are getting a drink, so it looks like the trainers will be dealing with her for just a little bit of time. It's an interesting game so far. I'll be honest with you. I didn't expect the game to be going this way. But you kind of mentioned some of the, the stand-ins and where they're at. And that adds a little bit of pressure to you. I'm kind of surprised because normally Ventura College's coaching staff, you could probably hear him in the parking lot behind us. And today they're a little bit quiet, and and I think I can see the old man talking to him right now, giving some instructions, and I think they've kind of gone away. You kind of mentioned it, pressing and winning the ball in the midfield, and putting more pressure on the centre forward, and the backs of Moorpark. I think if they step up a bit higher, it could create openings. But Moorpark's doing a really, really good job right now.
We noted at the top 2 red cards in the previous match against Santa Barbara, so the Pirates down a couple of players here tonight. So you see a little bit of change, some different roles here tonight. But the Pirates, pretty deep roster, so this is a team that would seem to be better able to handle that situation than a lot of other teams.
Yeah, you got to have a decent-sized squad, and Ventura College has always had a decent-sized squad. Obviously, the red cards, and got to see the video, aren't the type of red cards you'd like to give away, but, when you're pumped up to win the league and try and challenge to win the league, sometimes those types of things happen, which they potentially shouldn't. But Ventura College has got some good depth. I mean, the one thing I'm disappointed with is all the things they should be doing right, we've seen glimpses of. It's just not consistent enough. Whereas on the opposite, I feel like Moorpark, as the game's going on, they're actually getting a bit more and more into the game and higher up the field more often. And, you can see Ventura College players bumping chests in the middle of the field. But at the end of the day, they need to put the ball in the back of the net and work a little bit harder and keep winning tackles back there.
Yeah, there appears to be a little drop-off in intensity, if nothing else, down on the field for the Pirates, and that does seem to be allowing the Raiders to pick up some confidence.
Yeah, but it's organization. You've all got to be talking to each other all the time.
Long shot from about 30 yards out wide of the mark. Here come the Raiders, and of course, busy weekend on the VC Sports Network. We'll have American football tomorrow with the Pirates welcoming in the Allen Hancock College Bulldogs.
Little known fact, I played for the Ventura College men's football team. However, back then, the team wasn't as good as it is now, and I was kicking field goals, but it was still a great experience.
Pre Steve Mushagian being here, is that?
I don't want to tell you how long, because then you'll think I'm older than than you think I am. So
hey, you're not older in this room, I'll tell you that. Raiders lose it. They try the long pass. Wanted Tirado streaking down the left side. Raiders once again will win the ball. Gabriel in a scrum. Merlos wins it clean.
Yeah, Elmo did well there to connect a little pass to play out. Jamie's got to do a little bit better job of the pass. I mean, sometimes Alex is forcing it with a run down the middle. Naturally, the other team's got 2 center backs, so it's going to be a lot harder for that. I think if she can make a diagonal run there, she can get him behind. But she hasn't really had a good look at goal or run at them yet.
Yeah, Toledo, who works both on the back line and in the front line, moves to the front line with the 2 red cards here tonight. So a little different look for the Pirates. Now Kuhn gets into the battle. Pirates had it just momentarily. Out of play and a throw in coming. Merlos getting ready to bring it in.
Throw-ins have got to be to Ventura College players. I'm going to have to talk to them and make sure they go over that. It's like taking a free throw and throwing it to the other team. You got the ball in your hands, you got to connect it, right?
Well, they keep trying to work that near side. Again, throw going directly to a couple of white jerseys. But the Pirates do come away with it. Merlos with the pressure on, long pass, squirts through. And now it's a foot race. Raiders getting there first.
Right, I think if Ventura College can switch it a bit more like that, they'll get some success.
Yeah, Baker plays it out. Well, I thought it was Baker, but actually off the Pirates. Cisneros challenging. Ball still loose.
Yeah, she's got to maybe get an earlier cross or a shot off. Ref's calling her probably for pushing her in the back.
Well, this would be the first time that we would see a free kick coming from anything that could be considered a particularly dangerous part of the field. If the Pirates get one, or is this on the Pirates?
Not much in that.
Yeah. This is going to belong to Moorpark.
Ref just wanted to have a little talk.
All right, so a throw-in coming and back out.
We need some excitement in this game. Everybody's watching. We want to see some goals.
Yeah, right. Can they, we're looking for some good TV here in 32nd minute. Well, we're going to have to just settle for building drama. This is going to be a slow burn, evidently, Joey. That's what we're going to have to be content with.
It is, but just when you said that, Ventura College is going to take this free corner kick, put it in a dangerous area, and I don't want to call it because if it happens, I'll look too good. But this is a good opportunity to get numbers in the box. This free kick, corner kick, has to end up in the box and make Moorpark make a decision and not, come out, what do we step? Right now, they've got the goalkeeper blocked pretty well. So if this ends up anywhere in the box, you'd love to see him finish it.
Into the box this time and over, but the Pirates will recover. Toledo partially fanned on it. Sent back out. Throw in coming.
Yeah, just little things. That corner kick's got to be in a more dangerous area. And even that left-footed ball played back in has got to be a little bit better.
Merlot's still looking. Now, I have to tell you, and this will be a little bit of a crossbar analogy, but that was interesting as Merlos looked to have the throw there and really nowhere to go with that throw. Is there a little bit of what you might see in basketball where someone needs to come to the ball and give Merlos a target to bring that in? Because it looked like she really didn't have any good options.
Yeah, when you're taking a throw-in, you're talking and moving people around. And the easiest thing for defenders is to mark someone who's standing there. But when people start changing positions, it's very tough to mark. And you want someone down the line, someone deep, and someone centrally. But within that, you can rotate and move. But at the end of the day, she's got to be the one directing people so she doesn't just throw it straight to the Moorpark players.
The throw-in coming for the Raiders. And I've been impressed with Evelyn Gabriel for Moorpark working there against Hernandez and came up with another clean steal. And Gabriel listed as a forward, but she's been very effective on the defensive side of the ball.
I wonder sometimes if these guys are listing them in the wrong position so the opposition doesn't know where they play. But you have to be able to play in different positions. But I got to say hats off to Moorpark because right now, to me, they've created more of the dangerous opportunities. Ventura College hasn't really had a good look at goal, and some of the quality of the passing in the midfield and services in the box are dangerous. You got a free kick here for Moorpark. Depending on how high the line is for Ventura College right here, this could be super dangerous if they're not together, whether they stand or drop together and follow the second balls. This could be trouble. I'm hoping I predicted wrong like I did for the Ventura College. Corner kick.
Mia Nilsson Aguilar will take the kick. At the top of the box, free for a moment. Soft shot on line, but Garcia there. And that was Gabriel.
Yeah, it's kind of like I said. As soon as the free kick, before it was taken, Ventura College players are running back towards goal, letting the Moorpark players get higher up the field, and that's going to create some problems for you.
50-50 ball, and the Pirates able to win it. They'll work the far side.
They just connected 4 passes, which they haven't done in a while, so that's a positive, but they've got to connect that 5th.
And get the throw in.
Yeah, we need just a little bit more in that midfield and up top for Ventura College right now. And a little bit of spice, getting a little bit more stuck in on tackles, not giving away silly passes. But as I mentioned, Moorpark's doing a pretty good job so far.
Hernandez gets it to Tirado. Tirado wants to center. That one blocked at the point. Pirates still have it.
They did a good job of double teaming her there so she couldn't get a cross or a shot off.
Hernandez tries to play it into space, but too strong.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mentioned in the midfield. Some of these passes just a little bit softer. The idea is right. It's just a bit too hard.
Wanted Cisneros. In the 36th minute, gets by Hernandez. The Raiders have possession. Long pass, looking for Nickerson. Preciado with the steal for the Pirates. They'll switch to the far side for the attack.
A lot of people stared at the ball again, not finding spaces to get into to help a connected pass. They did decent there, but you got to have better movement off the ball.
And you got to believe, if you're Kai Waring on that Moorpark sideline, that you're pretty happy at this point to take your chances making the Pirates connect on several passes to really get something going.
Yeah, you know, Jeff, I hope you didn't call it at the beginning by saying in the 88th minute and jinxing Ventura College, because you won't be asked back, mate. But I got to agree with you right now. If I'm Kai, I'm a lot happier, I think, than Mr. Hoffman is right now on staff.
Well, our producer director Mike Zapata will tell you how good I am at the jinx. It's pretty scary.
Well, let's hope and see if I'm better at being psychic than you are at jinxing, mate.
In the 38th minute.
Better pressure and winning the ball. Hopefully they can keep it here.
Franco plays it ahead. Off to Toledo, trying to get it on the right foot, but sent back out.
It was a good little flick there. Alex played a good ball, but you still got to do better with that touch. Or maybe look to get a shot off quicker.
Pass off Cisneros and out of play. It'll go back to Moorpark. Push on Kuhn, who plays it out. It'll belong to the Pirates. Big night in the Western State North with Santa Barbara and Allen Hancock, the top two teams in the division, also playing. And as we alluded to near the top, a lot to still be resolved here in the last couple of weeks. Certainly the top four, Santa Barbara, Allen Hancock, Pierce, and Ventura, still very much in the picture.
It'll be interesting to see if they drop points. You know, those games are big games, and Hancock, you know, over the years hasn't necessarily been known for women's soccer, but the last couple of years they've been doing really well.
Baker cleared it, but not all the way out. Centering pass partially blocked. And now it's a loose ball. The Pirates able to clear it back out. One-timer.
Yeah.
One hopper to Romero.
See, Romero's done a pretty good job. She hasn't had to do too much, though, but she's still, you know, done a pretty good job back there.
Yeah, Romero, and I want to take a look at this real quick, but I believe Romero started every game for the Raiders this season in goal. Mordecai plays it back.
That consistency as your keeper helps a lot.
Yeah, the Pirates on the other side of it with both Cambria Houghton and Isa Garcia.
It's interesting because if you look up the field, you've kind of got three players near enough at times around Alex Tirado. They're smart in what they're doing right now.
Well, I think after a couple of goals in the first matchup, 27 goals, which is the third highest single season total in Ventura College history.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Mr. Hoffman decides to shake it up a bit and pull it back in the midfield, which would then pull two players higher up the field, which will give you space in behind them. That might be a little, you know, maybe shake things up a little bit.
Sent out by McKenna Spicer, who has checked in on that back line for the Raiders. If you're wondering, 1998 Chrissy Sanford, 40 goals, the record for the Pirates.
Yeah, she scored some goals. She was a beast of a player. She was so good, it's insane.
Tirado trying to put it on the right foot. Online, Romero positioned well.
I tell you what, she caught hold of that decent, and then you can see here coming up, the goalkeeper wasn't too sure about this. When that hits her hands are a little bit wide on the ball. If that goes through, whew.
Yeah, it's got some heat on it. You can tell from up here.
I think there's a little bit of wind out there, too, so that ball's going to move a little bit.
Yep. Actually, the wind appears to be blowing from right to left as you look at the screen, so maybe a little bit of wind behind that ball. And you so often see that, a ball that maybe a little bit harder, and it can squirt through the hands and get through.
Yeah, these games you don't want to make a mistake as a goalie. So sometimes it's interesting because you can overfocus and overthink, like in many sports, and you just want to relax, catch that, and be a little bit calmer. But she did look a little bit shaky on that.
Baker clears it out, keeps it in play, but it stays with the Pirates, and a whistle coming in.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said. A man with a lack of vision could have saw that foul. She gets taken out. Does well to take a touch and then try and pass the defender, and she doesn't really touch the ball at all. So in most sports, that would be a foul.
Yeah, Spicer on Hernandez, and now a chance for the Pirates. They will take a free kick about 20 yards out.
Perfect time for Ventura College. They need to put the ball into a dangerous area, and let's see what happens.
Into the box. Still loose. On the right side, Pirates trying to get one dialed up, but the Raiders are able to throw it clear.
Yeah, and they're bringing Nickerson back for those free kicks, and she did a good job of getting to that ball and not allowing Ventura College players to get it. But you would like to think that you're going to not play the ball to the tallest player on the field in the air. So Ventura College need to come away and think about that.
Moving into the 43rd minute in a scoreless game. Long pass, looking for Tirado in a foot race. Tirado keeping it alive, wants to center. The double team comes, and now the Raiders throw it back clear.
Looked like it could have been a handball on this. Does a good job of turning.
Yeah, right up there.
I might have hit her in the face, but Ventura College livening up a little bit now.
Seem to have settled down on some of the passing. Merlos, again, will handle the throw in.
She got to make sure she gets it to a Ventura College player. Perfect. She heard me. That's the switch.
Centering pass.
Better job, but it was a good, smart foul.
Franco picks up the foul, and that'll allow the Pirates to set up defensively.
She did just enough not to get a yellow card on that. Just a little tug.
Yeah, no, I could be wrong, but I don't. Have we seen a yellow? I don't think we've seen a card yet.
No yellows except for the 3 yellows on the field, mate.
All right.
The 3, they call them what? The 3 blind men? Oh, sorry, mice.
Yeah, it's a regrettable number if you're a referee.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, the refs are doing a good job today. It's important to give them props when they do well.
Pirates looking for a counter. On the run, no numbers.
2 passes too hard again through to forwards. She's got to be a little bit better there. That final pass, that final ball is just too hard. Or the runs.
Yeah, and it's Hernandez and Cisneros again, and not quite on the same page.
Well, she's in a position there. She maybe cut it inside and take a shot.
Hernandez, a season ago, led the team with 12 assists. That's tied for the second highest total in Pirate history. So it was a special season a season ago for Ventura. 16-win season and a Western State North title.
Yeah, it's a tough league to play in, and the competition steps up, and you've got it all comes down to consistency, and those red cards play a factor in it. Confidence at times going into games, coming out of a loss and a couple of red cards in the heated game. So Ventura's just got to get the head down and I want to say get back to trying to do some simple things like simple passes and getting a little higher up the field and creating opportunities and trying to play to Alex's feet a bit more.
Tescarino tries to play it back, but too much heat on it, and Romero there. So a couple of long passes looking for the center. First from Preciado and then Tescarino. Moving into extra time.
You know, Jeff, you might have called it, but one of the difference makers, I think, could be the bench. It doesn't look like Moorpark College have too many players on the bench, maybe 2 subs, maybe 3. And these are those games where 90 minutes is a long time.
And if you're the Pirates in this situation, how aware are you of that situation, and how much does that impact how you might elect to play on the field?
Yeah, I think realistically it's going to play a part, not so much with the players, but maybe even the coaches, but in the back of your mind you know that. Can we knock the ball? Can we make them run? Make them work? Because when you only have 1 or 2 subs, the level's definitely going to drop when you make those subs.
Franco. Plays it across. They'll try the long ball again. It's loose momentarily in the box. Centering pass and a goal!
That's a different level from Alex Torado. That back heel is why people get paid millions of dollars, and that's why she's here. You know, throughout the game, this back heel here is money. I mean, it's perfectly into a timed run pass. The funny thing is throughout this game, we haven't seen much of that final ball or that thing, but that's classy. And those types of things, and players like Alex are the ones that can win you games.
So the Pirates, just before intermission, grab the 1-0 lead.
They got to be happy about that because, to be fair, Moorpark's been in this game. So that goal just before halftime with Moorpark, as we mentioned, with low subs, they're working hard off the ball. That brings you down a bit psychologically going into halftime.
I believe it was Preciado that got the goal, but I will double-check that. Meanwhile, Hernandez on the drive. And the shot blocked at the point, and the whistle comes in, and we are at intermission with Ventura on a late goal, grabbing the 1-0 lead. You are watching Ventura College Soccer on the VC Sports Network and SoCalCollegeSports.com. Start of the second half. Pirates with the 1-0 lead, and let's update the scoring. It was Alyssa Gonzalez with the goal toward the end of the first half to give the Pirates. Mike, take down the music if you get me. Alyssa Gonzalez with her second goal of the season, giving the Pirates the 1-0 lead on the tremendous feed from Toronto as we are in the opening minute of the second half. Jeff Stonehoff, Joey Hoffman with you.
And we decided to start off with some magical guitar in the background for you folks out there. We know we've got hundreds of thousands of viewers, and we appreciate you coming on board and watching this live broadcast with two of the best commentators you'll ever hear in your life.
Yeah, it's, listen, if the video stays on YouTube for long enough, we will get to hundreds of thousands of views. It's just a question of time.
Well, Jeff, I told you I'd make you famous, mate, and right now we're on the path to that.
It's the start of the journey as the Pirates in the home dark jerseys will work it from left to right here in the second half. Looking to mount an attack.
Some good combinations in that.
They tried to send it wide. The Pirates keep it with Mordecai, and that is what Maggie Mordecai does for this team. Just relentless pressure. Meanwhile, a counter developing. Baker might have had a center elected to launch the shot from about 25 yards out and send it wide.
Yeah, Baker got a little bit excited there. Maybe take a touch, pull it back into the middle, but it was a good quick counter for Moorpark, and probably should have done better.
Jimenez with the steal. Tries to get the shot off from the top of the box. And Preciado able to get in there. Actually, that was Tiscarino. Able to get a foot in and disrupt the shot. Pirates nearly gave it back in one fell swoop with a turnover deep in their own territory. But they maintain the 1-0 lead.
They look at the play back, which is good and good soccer at times, but sometimes you've got to make sure that safety comes first. And that goal kick could have been a big issue for him.
Federis with the centering pass that was stolen. Zoe Kuhn, dogged by Mordecai, tries to play it back and does. Skylar Rush has checked in. Evelyn Gabriel with the pass. Nickerson tries to thread it through, looking for Jimenez, and out quickly is Garcia.
She did well coming out to get that ball there, but it's a crazy 2-3 minutes, and Ventura College looked great from the get-go, and now all of a sudden Moorpark flipped the script, and they're getting higher up the middle and up the field and putting some pressure on Ventura College.
Yeah, with a new front line largely, particularly Adriana Jimenez, and another turnover. Jimenez again in space, looking for a lane. Working back to the right, tried to leave it for Nickerson. Well, the Pirates looking for a quick counter. Into Raider territory, they try and play it into space, but Romero will venture out and clear that one back out toward midfield.
And those are those midfield passes like the one we just saw right now that they've got to keep connecting if Ventura College wants to create more opportunities.
Off of Torado. Looking for Baker. Baker going to run out of room.
Ventura College's backs right now are looking a little shaky. They're not matching up. They don't have an extra player, and it's allowing Moorpark the opportunity to receive the ball and get higher up the field.
And the Raiders aggressively go after the throw-in. But the Pirates do maintain out to Federis.
And it looks like they pull Nickerson back into midfield, which is actually really working quite well for them right now. Free kick for Moorpark at a decent area. The good news for Ventura College is the sun has gone down. If you were watching halftime, you saw some beautiful sunsets in the background. And now this free kick could be in a super dangerous area.
Skylar Rush will take it. And the Raiders getting a lot of bodies forward. And this one launched. And in! From 35 yards out!
It's a tough one because it looks like Ventura College switched keepers, and you know, we're not blaming the keeper here, but ultimately, if you watch that, the keeper takes the first 3 steps forward and the ball goes over her head.
Yeah, it looks like that's Cambria Houghton who has come in at intermission. And again, you know, Joey, off the foot, you think this is just a pass into the box that's gone way too far. But obviously, Skylar Rush with a different agenda and slips it in under the crossbar. You can't place it a whole lot better, and we've got a brand new game tied at 1.
Yeah, it makes things interesting. Definitely, Ventura College kind of worked through the whole half. I don't think did it, you know, too much, but created that beautiful goal. Again, this goal from Moorpark, I mean, she struck that really well. I would like to think, and like I say, especially on camera, I don't like to knock goalkeepers, but I'd like to think that the keeper does a little bit better job of that. Knowing it's coming big in the air, you don't really want to step off your line a couple of steps and then look backwards. So if the keeper just shifts 2 or 3 steps to the right instead of stepping forward, I think she gets that. But you can't take anything away from that free kick. She put it where you want to put it.
Yeah, that's Houghton taking a couple of steps up and then having to retreat back, and that makes that an infinitely tougher play.
Yeah, it's not easy as a goalie. You got to read it, right? And you want your keepers to be aggressive and come out after the ball. But the problem you have on a free kick like that is the only real area that's going to be dangerous is that. So it's almost like you want to hold a little bit and then just jump, and she catches that in her hands. But you know, goalkeepers aren't perfect, and you can't knock the keeper. To be fair, I think Ventura College will create some chances. But as I said in the first half, Moorpark College have answered a lot of, you know, times Ventura College have set something up.
Throw in coming for the Raiders. All tied at 1. We are in the 53rd minute.
I think, Jeff, your prediction might come true, mate, unfortunately.
Well, I wondered aloud if, being in that 85th minute and you're no score, but I'm sure on the Moorpark side, like 1-1 is fine. I think the tie is really the key takeaway here. If you're the Raiders, the deeper you can go into this one in a tie game.
And to be fair to Moorpark, I think they've done enough to score. You know, unfortunately for Ventura College, it came off of I don't want to say a fluke free kick, but at the end of the day, a free kick at that distance, you know, there's a lot of field goal kickers that can't kick it that far, and she struck that ball pretty well.
And the placement to boot on top of it, just remarkable shot from Rush.
Yeah, it was a really nice, she struck that well. Sometimes when you're playing, though, you just strike it as hard as you can towards goal, and sometimes those go in. But, you know, I know she was obviously trying to put it in the goal, but that just worked out very well for him. And then, like I say, Moorpark College is done enough, I think, so far to score.
Cleared out. They continue to battle on the near side. Jimenez has that played out, and Toledo will have the throw-in.
Yeah, Ariana Jimenez has started this second half off really well. She's made Moorpark look lively up there, and it's a good change by the Moorpark coach to pull Nickerson back in there and push her up top and switch it up a bit, because it's definitely made it a little bit harder for Ventura College to organize and figure out what to do in that situation.
Looking for Cisneros on the throw-in, and Rush will have the free kick. This one probably outside her range.
He's probably just a little bit. I think that the cast in her arm's weighing her down just a little bit.
Trying to get it, looking for Christine Maxey. And the Pirates now with a chance. Gonzalez plays it ahead.
This is what you want, Tirado on the ball.
Looking to center, but overshoots the target. Baker will track it down. Baker looking for Jimenez, and now a little trouble for Preciado, and it's a foot race. Preciado able to get there.
She did a good job on that, being nice and calm on the ball.
Toledo has that one blocked at the point, but Mordecai digs it out. Mordecai with a head of steam. Played into space. Hernandez will look to center. Can't get the handle.
That actually, that was a good little sequence there of Ventura College, and I think they've started off well as well, a little bit lively and playing the simple passes, getting it down the line there, and you just like to see that ball cut back and giving you a chance inside the box. It's that final ball, that final third that, the only one we saw was that back heel from Tirado, which is just a different level of class for that first goal.
Yeah, it's a good situation. You get it to Hernandez in a situation where she could put a cross on it. That's exactly where you want to be.
She's got pace. She's got speed. She can get there. She just misjudged that a bit. And it's a bit harder on the turf.
Tirado, left of the box. Centering pass, but nobody there. Spicer will play it out. Jimenez can't find the handle.
She did well there again. Jimenez's runs off the ball to get that, really good right now. Ventura College gives away another free kick. I'm not sure if it was a pull or a handball, but the referee decided that was naughty, and so you get a yellow card, and don't do that again.
I think it's interesting also the difference that Jimenez brings compared to Nickerson in the center. A little different body type, a little different skill set, it looks like, and that's an adjustment that maybe you have to make if you're Ventura on that back line.
Yeah, Jimenez, her runs are definitely diagonal creative, and it changes the dynamic for Moorpark because I don't think they're playing as kind of direct into a bigger, stronger center forward. But the runs she's making she's doing a good job of off balance in Ventura's backs. But if you look at Ventura's backs, they're struggling with matching up right now, and they can't afford to lose possessions, just like I was saying. But that ball wide is what Ventura College needs to do.
Played into space, but Tirado can't catch up.
Yeah, and it's kind of been a little bit of what's been going on this game, right? You get a good ball, you make a pass or two, and then gets to the midfield, and it's just going out of bounds. And those ones you got to start connecting if you want to get back into a winning in this game.
Raiders trying to work that far sideline. It'll go back to Ventura. 58th minute. Gets by Tirado. And a goal kick coming.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy. Just those 5-10 yard passes that you really want to make sure that you take advantage of when you're getting high up that field. And sometimes you got to understand that if you're constantly losing those balls in the midfield, you're allowing the other team to get possession, you're defending more, and they get higher up the field when realistically it shouldn't happen. So in some ways you're actually causing your own problems on both ends of the field.
Earlier today, Alan Hancock and Santa Barbara goes down as a tie, so nothing changes at the top, with Santa Barbara maintaining the lead. And Alan Hancock a game behind.
Yeah, I don't think that result helps. It's probably the worst result for the teams below them, but those two teams are good teams. And sometimes, that's the definition of a great team, right? They're not dropping points. So both of those teams are very good teams this season. And when you get to playoffs, all bets are off. It's a different game. But so far, they've been pretty consistent and done well.
Franco able to win the ball and play it out to Toledo. Toledo's got a strong leg. Plays it to the center. And the Raiders kick it back out. They try to go for Tirado on that far side. Along the sideline, and Tirado emerges back to her right, looking to center.
That's that pass you want to connect. They pulled it off there, but sometimes you can't just kick it wide and hope someone gets it.
Toledo again. And this is Cisneros with some open field. Looking for the cross into the box. Sent clear, Gonzalez giving chase. Ventura
College are finding some of these players higher up the field now, and it's making a big difference. They're getting the ball in the box, making things a lot more dangerous. And Moorpark, a little bit different. They're kind of sitting deeper in the box, which is giving a pocket of space to play the ball around.
Toledo puts it on the left foot. Blocked at the point. now the Raiders looking for a counter.
Would have made more sense for her to get on the right, but now
Zoe Kuhn with a move to her right, still on the drive. As that one poked free momentarily, but it stays with Moorpark. Big shot from outside from Jimenez, blocked and sent out of play.
they did good press in that, because if they got behind her there, they were in big trouble. Right now, Ventura College is not organizing as quick as they should. They're leaving players open, and it's causing some big problems for them.
Into the 61st minute. Back out to midfield. And now it's the Raiders maintaining possession. Clean steal. Pirates looking to get a counter going. Cisneros on the run. Still on the drive, looking for the cross. Into the box, one-timer up over the bar.
She got to get a hips and leg above that, turn more of a side volley and less inside of the foot, but that's a positive for Ventura College because they haven't been too successful getting the ball, combining, getting it wide, and providing a good cross to another Ventura College player. So that's a big positive for them. But I'm a little bit worried about the transition and the counterattack that Moorpark's providing right now. And Ventura College have got to get organized. Otherwise, you could see another goal from Moorpark coming. Ironically, Ventura College, I think, have looked a lot better getting forward, though. So I think there's more goals in this game.
Baker will let this one head out of play. Throw in coming for the Raiders.
Love to see Ventura College step players higher up the field to press on a throw-in in Moorpark College's half, because realistically, you've got an extra player on the field, right? The throw is one off, and you can press. So it would be great to see on those throw-ins, can they press and get a little higher up the field? And Ventura College here knocking it around at the back pretty well. They just need to take advantage of the speed and width that they've been successful with in connecting some of these passes.
Hernandez. Back out, Tiscarino.
It's a good, simple pass.
Shot on goal, but Romero well positioned.
That was better keeping those simple passes. 5-yard pass from Blumkin and ends up with a shot. Need a little bit more heat behind it, but at the end of the day, it's a positive. You're getting some shots. Ventura College kind of looks like they've changed to a 4-4-2, which is giving them some more width out wide to help them get players down that line to provide crosses.
Hernandez tried to lob for the top of the box. Well, the Pirates can't maintain possession. Bringing more pressure. Now they've got the steal again. Hernandez on a drive. Shot. And just over the bar.
She did well there to beat the play, get a look at goal. Might have been a look at a foul maybe, but she did really well on that. The interesting thing now, because Ventura College is changing to a 4-4-2, and Moorpark looks like they're in still a 4-4-2 as well, it's going to be those matchups. You know, you've got 4 at the back, they've got 2 forwards. What do you do with the extra players? Sometimes that allows the other team's forwards to make runs because you're not organized.
Cisneros gets it back on the throw-in. Looking for the lob, and it's out of play. Back to Moorpark, and, well, as advertised, they continue to try that long pass to see if they can get it directly to Tirado. Hard to say that it hasn't worked. Tirado accounted for both the goals and the 2-1 win when these two teams met back on October 4th.
And I would say she's probably had just under 10 touches, and one of them basically created the goal for a nice tap-in. There's another back heel just like the goal.
Raiders able to get back. The Pirates will pull it back out. Mordecai. Quick feed inside. Sent back out.
And Moorpark's got 2 midfielders dropping into that pocket in space in front of the backs, which is allowing them to pressure the ball and win those headers. So they're doing a good job organizationally, defensively, to not allow that ball right down the middle It's can they be consistent? And kind of like I mentioned in the first half, you look at the bench for Moorpark. I don't know if they do have a sub, but ultimately, when you're going to push and get to that 80th minute, 70th minute is when you'll start to feel it. However, getting that goal to tie it up definitely gives you some momentum and psychologically puts you in a way better place to work through some of that.
Pirates want to work quickly on the throw-in.
Good game so far. Second half definitely, I think, better than the first. First half was a bit boring, if we're being honest. This is more of a better representation of the game of soccer. A couple of goals. And the interesting thing is what happens with that is when the temperature drops, if you don't run, you get cold. So guess what? These girls, these women are running around pretty and working hard to keep warm, but it changes the game as well.
Kuhn tries to play it ahead. And Blumkin.
She read that well to get to that first. That's what you need.
They try to go deep to Toronto, battling with Baker over on that far side, out of play. Pirates will bring it in. They're looking to move quickly again. See if they switch the attack. Up top, Hernandez. Nothing doing. Plays it back out to Mordecai. Mordecai on the drive. Left footer blocked at the point.
Moorpark's doing a good job of getting numbers in the middle, getting compact, tucking them in, not allowing the shots. And I think the reality for Ventura College is where they'll be successful is getting the ball wide and getting some balls in or trying to take earlier shots. The ball was held just a little bit too much in the middle, and they got to keep moving that ball to make sure Moorpark's defense, as you say in America, moves around a little bit quicker. Otherwise, they can just kind of sit in there in a block and just kind of block. You know, in soccer we call it a low block, but they can make it very hard for you to get shots off and kind of get through them.
Well, the way we're heading right now, still a lot of time left, 68th minute, but we may get a whole lot of no change in the standings. In the Western State North, we've already had a tie with Santa Barbara and
Hancock.
And now in Hancock. And here we're tied at 1 as we move toward the 69th minute.
I think there's more goals in this, mate. I'm not going to tell you who I think because I'll probably be wrong. But the reality is I think there's going to be more goals in this game. Both teams are looking better attacking-wise, and they're getting the ball into dangerous areas, and they're doing a bit better in the final third.
Hernandez tries to find Mordecai and does. Arrieta tries to spin away from Rush and can't do it. The Raiders looking to go back the other way. At midfield, it ends up with Mordecai.
Yeah, Ventura's been successful. It looks like I say, they got two fullbacks right now, the outside backs attacking, so it looks like there's three. I think that's helped them a little bit, but then it's also kind of left them susceptible for Moorpark to attack in numbers. But this is where they'll be successful here. If they can connect that pass wide to feet rather than just kick it big to the other team, they'll be a lot more successful. The width is where they're going to get something out of this.
Yeah, they wanted Arrieta. Hernandez battling against Gabriel, and Gabriel able to win it and play it ahead. Jimenez in a foot race. Preciado plays it back.
Sometimes these games you hope don't come down to individual errors because those are tough ones. You don't mind too much if it's an unbelievably great goal like Ventura College's in the first one, but sometimes you don't want that to come down to an individual error. But both teams, second half, have woken up, and I think they're providing more of an exciting game for all the fans and the younger players that came out here to walk out on the field and play a little bit at halftime.
And the colder weather, I think, has brought the pressure on both sides, particularly from Moorpark in the second half, where they seem to be more willing to pressure the ball and try and create chances.
Yeah, I don't think they have much to lose. Ventura College is kind of in the same position, right? That they're trying to get to playoffs, trying to raise their rankings to get into the playoffs. But this game, regardless of where you are in league or what the numbers are, it means much more. So it's a little bit of a different game when you're playing Moorpark, and I'm sure that's in any sport.
Rush wins the race, but Cisneros there for the Pirates. Wants to play it ahead in between Hernandez and Arrieta, but the Pirates able to maintain. And rather, that's Toledo. Over on the far side, they've moved Toledo up, and Toledo able to win the ball from Rush. A move to the right, into the box, wants to center, and it's played out. This should be a corner kick coming.
So dangerous off that. Two quick little turns. She's in. It's dangerous. But ironically, there was two passes that could have played a little bit wider to feet, and that was a little bit of a mistake by Moorpark. But it's very hard to defend against that. You just want to take a step back. And sometimes these defenders have got to understand that your number one job is to not get beat. You don't have to win the ball, but don't get beat, and you're allowing the opposition to, almost like checkers, jump over you and get down the field.
Toledo will handle the corner into the box. Header sent wide.
That's the first corner Ventura College, I think, have played in where it's been in a good area, good run, dangerous ball, and that header, if she's adjusts her run a tiny bit, you never know. That could be in the top corner.
Yeah, to me, that was the first that I remember where a shot was even heading toward the goal, much less on it.
Yeah, you've got to get as much as you can out of corner kicks. Corner kicks, that's a chance to put it in a dangerous area and make them, defend very well rather than, balls out of bounds or so on and so forth. I saw one of the Moorpark players look like she was stretching in the corner and might be starting to get a cramp. That's when this is interesting, because as we talked about, I don't think we've seen any Moorpark players warming up. I don't see anybody else with a jersey. I see one with a blanket on. But if they don't have another sub and they're making a sub or two or any injuries, that alone could change this game.
So staying with the point that we were making, cold weather perhaps a bit of a boon for the Raiders who have the shorter bench?
Yeah, it's a 50-50, isn't it? Sometimes, like I say, because you're cold, you're going to run. And I just think for some of these players, it gets tougher as the game goes on. And that first half of the way the game's been playing back and forth, almost like NBA style, because teams are losing possession, that puts a toll on your legs and your running. And if you're playing with a team with one or two subs and you're this deep into the season, you're fatigued.
Top of the box, high in the air. Romero trying to keep it alive. Now it's a scrum in front. The Raiders able to clear it out. Nervous time for Moorpark. One-timer from way out front trying to answer the goal from Rush.
It's interesting Tirado was that deep on that free kick or that ball. You would have thought she was higher. And to be fair, Moorpark's goalie, that's the first time she's kind of dropped it where maybe you want a bit of presence, bring your knee up, keep that ball in your hands. But that could have turned out bad, but she still got her hands on the ball. Good win in the midfield. That's what Ventura College need to keep doing. Winning that ball, knocking it around, finding the space wide. They're just getting picked off because they're playing the balls a little bit too central.
High archer, top of the box. Cleared out by Spicer. Pirates keep it. Mordecai. Back to the right.
That first touch into pressure a little bit too hard. She could play that one touch wide. I really think Ventura College, they're gonna make things happen if they can get the ball wide. Moorpark's got a lot of players tucked into the middle, and they're kind of picking off some of those narrow passes when they need to play a little wider.
Arietta. Might have partially fanned on it. High bounce. Jimenez plays it forward, but Preciado there. Franco.
The other interesting thing is you put Nickerson into the midfield, she's doing a lot more running than she was up top.
Hernandez tries to split the double team and does to her right. Can't get it lined up. Back to Mordecai, who goes to the left foot. Romero right there.
Yeah, not the best effort with her left foot. She's obviously right-footed, we can say that. But before she got that ball, she had a choice. Maybe she cuts it to her right, she'll get a better shot. But as I've said quite a few times, easier said than done.
We see what Hernandez does for this team and the ball handler. And if you're going to go on the attack not with the long ball, you got to put it at the feet of Hernandez. You see there, she's able to beat the double team and go a long way toward creating a chance. Kuhn playing it ahead.
A little bit afters. on the tackle. You can't, you play the ball, and then the defender kind of comes in a little late. But it just looks like Moorpark's getting a tiny bit tired. I don't think they've been in this half for about 5-10 minutes. This is dangerous. I would like to see Ventura College step up to the 15-yard line, which makes it a lot harder for Moorpark to get to the ball.
Kuhn launches again into the box. One bounce, and Houghton that time is there.
Ooh, goalkeeper.
Trying to roll it out, and the turnover. Chance for the Raiders and a shot, and Houghton with the save.
Yeah, that's been a couple of distribution from the goalkeeper, a goal kick and that throw that could cost you the game.
Yeah, Kuhn was able to get the shot.
Yeah, she was slightly unlucky on that.
But Houghton in the right spot. Bouncing ball, Arietta battling, but the Raiders send it clear. Kuhn can't find the handle.
Yeah, Moorpark in the second half have only really had the best of luck from a free kick, which you wouldn't have thought at the time it was going to be that dangerous. But they're starting to kind of like I mentioned to you. You got no subs, 90-minute game. It's the back end of the season. This is when you start getting sore. Just right in front of us, we see number 8. She's leaning down. She's holding a leg. We got one sub being made.
Well, we've seen Kuhn all over the place, starting at the front line, at the forward position to start the game, but now working more on the back line. But still got forward moments ago and had a great look.
I've been impressed. A lot of the Moorpark players, a couple of them, Jimenez, Kuhn, Nickerson, they've impressed me. And Moorpark's back have done a decent job so far of stopping Ventura College and Torado. But I think Ventura College needs to go back to playing the ball wide, getting it in off crosses, or trying to, play into Torado a little bit more, because she hasn't really had much of the ball to her feet in this half.
Yeah, they've been working far more on the right side, which I think is interesting, rather than over on the left side to Torado.
Yeah, and sometimes naturally most players on the field are right-footed, so that naturally happens. It just takes looking up a little bit and making sure your first touch can help you with that. And also, if you look, there's not really somebody on that left side making a run until the left back gets higher up the field.
Toledo.
There's bicycles, and then there's a tricycle, and that was a tricycle, mate.
But Toledo able to ultimately win it back and play it outside. Gonzalez, who had the goal, plays it back out. Ends up with Blumpkin. And now Hernandez in the middle. Looking for a lane. Plays it ahead. Gonzalez with the center. But again, the Raiders blocking that pass and haven't really seen a good cross yet. As you've been talking about, they've been trying to get it to the side to set that pass up, but the Raiders have defended it very well, really all night.
Yeah, it's not easy at that angle to get a good cutback, but also a lot of it's the runs, right? You always want someone making a run to the near post, because that's an easy tap in. Someone into the 6-yard box and someone far post. And if you can get a midfielder just on the edge of the box, it almost covers a lot of angles. And it doesn't seem to be that those crosses are getting there, but also there's only 1 or 2 in the box. Toledo
1 times, and Romero able to go up high and secure that one, and that's a play. That's a ball that I suspect is a little harder to play than it looks like.
Yeah, those are tough ones as a keeper, a little bit shaky. I mean, she looked more solid on that one than she did the one in the first half, but she's done a pretty good job, to be fair. It's playing goalkeeper's not easy. You make one mistake, and everybody blames you, whereas both goalkeepers, all 3 have done a pretty good job so far. This is the ball. Get it wide. Ventura College will have some success, but kind of the same thing, the quality of that cross. But also, if you look in the box, there was, Torado was in there. You had 4 players on the edge of the box. They've got to work harder in a game like this to get in the box to win the game. And sometimes in soccer, it is just that one time you decide, I'm going to work as hard as I can. You make that run, kind of like the goal Ventura College. If the run's not made as quick as it was, that back heel means nothing. It just looks pretty. And at the end of the day, you sacrifice, you work hard. And because to me, Moorpark is starting to look a little bit tired.
moving into the 81st minute. And I'm not detecting that much stoppage time will be on the clock here in this second half.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's not been too many injuries or ball out of play. Although the 2 goals, I mean, you would think there'd be 2 or 3 minutes, but
yep, at least as it stands now. But we'll see what happens. Gonzalez faces up, plays it back out. One-timer from Preciado, and Spicer content to clear it out for the Raiders.
I tell you, these Moorpark players, they're working hard, and you can see every time that ball moves. Like Jimenez up front, she's working hard, and that's what you want to see. But the hard problem is you're only at the 80th minute, and you still got 10 minutes left. This game is screaming for someone to make that run, like I said, to give that last-ditch effort and get a reward for it.
All right, you talked about the pressure, and I've always wondered this as I watch the game, and the pressure that's naturally on the keeper. Long pass played ahead, and Romero out wins the race. But is the most to me the most pressure I've ever seen in any sport anywhere is taking penalty kicks.
Yeah.
In the World Cup. Is there any question but that there's even more pressure on the person taking the kick than the keeper? And can you think of something where there's more pressure than a World Cup penalty kicks taking a kick?
I think a free throw in an NBA final to win the game is the closest you can get to it. But just like a free throw, you've done that hundreds of times. You know where you're going, you stick to it, and you get it. But these goalkeepers, they're under extreme pressure because it's kind of like I said. Anybody else on the field could make 5 mistakes in this game, and it won't cost you the game. The goalie makes 1, and it could cost you the game or 3 points instead of a tie, right? And that's what's hard. And, the other thing people don't understand, sometimes when you switch your keepers at halftime and it's cold like this, it's hard for them to come and get mentally right into the game. And that's why a lot of teams don't make that sub. And if they do, they do it maybe 20, 15 minutes into the second half so your keeper can get a really good warm-up.
Yeah, Isa Garcia was a game-time decision for the Pirates and played in the first half. Little trouble for Rush, but Romero there. And they make the decision to go to Houghton, and obviously we're not privy to everything that went into that decision, but the move made at halftime. But it should be noted that Garcia was a game-time decision, so was not an automatic to be available at all tonight.
Yeah, that's the thing with coaching, right? You make some of the tough decisions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. As a goalie, you come on, you're feeling confident. The first half Ventura College goalkeeper looked pretty confident. Didn't really have too much to do, but that's there. And it's just the game at this level from some positions is psychological. And if you're feeling good, you get your fingertips on that. You start where you should. But, coming into this game, it's against Moorpark. You've got friends that go to the other school. People from your high school go to the other school. It makes this game mean that little bit more. And sometimes that pressure can get a bit much. But, in this game, I'd love to see like this. We've got 4 players higher up the field for Ventura College. They've got to get players higher up the field. Moorpark's looking a bit tired. They're sitting in and just put them under more pressure. Because every time that ball gets played one side or another, they all have to run. And I do think with this, 7, 8, 10 minutes left, that's what this is going to come down to. And it'll be interesting to see if either coach decides that, hey, the tie is a good result for us and we don't want to go for it.
Well, you're watching a lot of long passes to the back line, and is that the Pirates sort of challenging that fatigue by creating some of those one-on-one situations, some of those 50-50 balls? Because if that's the case, I think you have to give Moorpark a lot of credit because they are winning a lot of those 50-50 balls that could go either way.
Moorpark's done a good job of getting, their backs behind the ball and having 1 or 2 in front. So even if the ball gets played in, they're picking off a header. But these are the times here where, if you look at, you've got Torado up top by herself. There's no one near her. But you've got 2, 4, 5 Moorpark players. So Moorpark knows for them this tie would be a great result because they've worked hard and they're lacking in subs. But here's when you got to get some numbers up top. So Ventura College still technically has 4 fullbacks and Moorpark College has 1 forward. So you need 1 marking, 1 extra. Get the other ones up top and let's get a goal in here.
Now working that left side on the drive. Again, they'll look for the cross into the box and a goal!
It's so funny because we've been talking about getting the ball wide, number 1. And I just said to you about a midfielder making that run and working as hard as they can. And it was almost like the first goal in a way of great run forward and a ball in. And now we'll see what happens. Moorpark kind of set deep there, and someone like a Tirado can change a game. She can be quiet for so long and then just sneaks up, provides an assist. And a lot of people talk about the goals she scored, but the 2 passes she's had for the assists have been unbelievable.
Yeah, just catching the tail end there, and we'll see if maybe we get that one more time. But it wasn't the heel. Here you see it again. And was that? I think it was Merlos.
Yeah, that's
coming up, and it was shades of that first goal, and that again, it was that center drive, that centering, that cross that hasn't really been there much for the Pirates tonight. But the couple times they've been able to get it, they have made the most of it, and they grabbed the 2-1 lead here in the 87th minute. That's a real heartbreaker for Moorpark, and it would be somewhat similar if it finishes this way to the first matchup between these two teams, where, again, Moorpark had themselves in the game, but the Pirates ultimately wore them down and then scored late.
Yeah, it's not easy. You don't have subs. You can see some of the Moorpark players with their hands on the hips. They're tired. They've worked hard. This will be interesting to see. Does Ventura College make a sub to bring on a defensive player? Do they start to take the ball to the corners? What do they do? Because the last play, Tirado got the ball. She dribbled, she turned, she cut and played it into the middle, and they lost possession. You want to keep possession. You want to slow this game down. You want to make them. You want to make them work as hard as possible. And the opposite, which will be interesting now, is will Moorpark push up 3 or 4 players and try and tie it, which would then leave them susceptible up top at the back for Tirado to who knows do what. So it becomes a chess game now. It's been a bit of checkers and a bit of basic. Now we got a chess game. Do you go with an extra forward and do you pull an extra one back? Do you dribble into the corners and waste time, or just kick it big? What do you do?
Well, we'll double check for the official stats, but it looked to us like it was Elisa Merlos, and if it was, that was her first goal of the season. So a couple of Pirate players that haven't been a big part of the scoring have had the big answers tonight. Meanwhile, the Pirates looking for a little breathing room. Tirado off of Romero and played out and out of play, and a corner kick coming, and another heavy boot from Tirado online, and Romero gets just enough to deflect it.
That was a big save. She did really well on that. That was a big save. That's not an easy save to make. And also for Tirado, at that angle, to put the ball there is a tough one. And, Ventura College is getting success from playing it wide.
And now we move toward extra time, and the Pirates trying to close it out and inch a little bit closer in that very crowded Western State North. This would be a big win.
I'm a little disappointed Ventura College has 2 at the back marking 2 Moorpark players. So one quick transition here, like this, like I'm talking you through as it happens. This could be very dangerous off your own corner kick. You can't do that.
Big hit from Preciado, still down. That was a heavy collision. No whistle coming, and the Pirates now can kill a little time.
Yeah, Ventura College now needs to get numbers behind the ball, play it to Tirado or out wide, hold the ball, slow it down. These games, your emotion of playing Moorpark College, it needs to calm down, and you need to say, we need to win this game. Because they're losing the ball and providing them a chance to go big, which could come back and backfire. But it looks like Kuhn is not back yet, and she's got her hands on her head. So
she's up, but
that benefits Ventura College. But I'd like to see Ventura College kind of take a deep breath and say, hey, we're winning. We've worked so hard to get this. Let's not give away a silly goal.
Toledo in the corner.
Now we're talking.
And played out. And it will belong to Ventura.
I hate to say this because a lot of people hate me for saying it, but the referees have done a pretty good job of this game. There's not been much that's been too kind of controversial, but they have done a good job, and I think it's important that you mention them when they do a good job.
What did you make? I know we only have it in the fast motion off the one time as they play it back out, but what did you think? I take it you thought that was a good no call on the Preciado Kuhn collision moments ago. That was, a pretty heavy collision, if nothing else.
Yeah, you know what? If a ref called that, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't necessarily think it was a foul, but sometimes for a ref, the angle you're at, it makes it awkward. So it's very hard to see who connected with what first. And Ventura here just need to do exactly that. Kick it to the corner, and not to sound mean, but kick it as hard as you can off the Moorpark players. Get a throw in, hold it in the corner. Whatever you can to win the game. You don't necessarily need to play that ball in the box because you lose possession.
Back out. Pirates can keep it. Mordecai tries to play it back into the front of the goal, but Romero there.
Ventura College are on thin ice at the back. At times 2v2. They're winning 2-1. And I'm going to have a word with Mr. Hoffman after the game about, game management and winning the game, right? You're up. It's a big game. This could affect where you end up in the playoffs. You need to win. Moorpark's tired. Get the ball down and make them run. Let's
talk a little bit about this because this is an interesting discussion. This would seem, that logic would dictate you've got the lead. It's very hard to, to score a goal in that situation. Obviously, there's a lot of sense to playing more conservatively on that back line, bringing people back. What's the counter? What's Steve Hoffman thinking right now that he's got the 2-on-2 and he's taking that kind of chance?
Well, what happens when you coach in the fly, you're not scanning the whole field sometimes. So, most time you're coaching, you're watching the ball higher up the field. So when the ball's higher up the field, you're not having a little look at your backs. But to me in this game, I would go specific. I would say, Jeff, you're marking number 8. Wherever she goes, you go. That's it. And then, we'd get that sorted out. We'd also talk about what you just saw, which is there is nothing at the back. We win this game. Play big. This ball's okay because it's not too dangerous, but keep it wide.
And they will work it outside. Mordecai on the drive, still on the drive, wants the center. And the pass back and a whistle comes in.
Yeah, it's just out of bounds. And it's hard, too, because this gives them a goal kick. We've already seen that this is a big kick. And now, look, you've got 3v3 potentially at the back. If that gets skipped through, there could be an issue, and you break everyone's hearts because you think you've won the game.
Franco tries to play it off. Another steal.
1v1 at the back here.
Nickerson on the run. Played out wide, but Nickerson will track it down first. Perhaps the last chance for Moorpark. Nickerson loses it.
She's tired.
And
She's done a lot, though. She's done a lot.
Yep. And the Pirates play it out and wrap up a 2-1 win. It's a final. High drama here from the VC Sportsplex. The late goal in the first half, and then mirror image in that second half. Another late goal finishes it off, and the Pirates are going to get the win, go back over 500 with a 2-1 win here over Moorpark.
Yeah, and I think Moorpark have to come away with this proud of themselves. With the number of subs they had, they worked hard. I hate to say I told you so, but I thought that last 10, 15 minutes, that makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of class you talked about at the beginning with Tirado and Moorpark, Ventura College players making that run underneath. It pays off. Second half was way better, kept everybody awake. First half might have put you asleep. But overall, a good performance from both teams, and I think Kai will come away a little bit, unhappy but proud of his players. And obviously, Mr. Hoffman will be happy to go home with the win, and he might get some dinner tonight.
Pirates move into basically a statistical tie for third in the Western State North as they move to 6-3 in conference. They go over 500 on the season, 8-7-3. Well, if you're thinking about the postseason, your Ventura, that was a big one to get. You start to get into dangerous territory if they drop one here tonight, but they get it over Moorpark. Coming up, their next game, November 1st, that's a Tuesday. They'll be at L.A. Pierce. That's another big matchup. Pierce right now in a tie. They're 5-2-2 in conference play. So keep an eye on the Western State North. It's going to be fun down the stretch here to see how these four teams shake out and ultimately where they go, should they all make it to the postseason, and surely some, if not all of them, will.
Yeah, I think to tie in with that, you're at the point now where red cards, injuries, and kind of like we mentioned to you with Moorpark, in this game you can see that number of players changes the outcome. I think if Moorpark has 3 or 4 subs and some legs to replace some quality players, that end of that game could have been different, but they did themselves proud, and Ventura College, they need to work on in the midfield, connecting passes, getting the ball wide, and after the last little video, some of them need to work on the dancing as well, mate.
I think that's a good place, to finish it up. I think, but, listen, we've got something to say about everything here. We're not just talking about what happens on the field, or I guess the dancing was on the field as well. Final score here tonight: 2-1. Ventura tops Moorpark, moves to 8-7-3 overall, 6-3 in conference play. I want to thank our team, Lorenzo Osuna and Mike Zepeda, combining tonight to produce, direct, and work camera here tonight. And, of course, Joey Hoffman. Joey, thanks so much for joining us. Really enjoyed having you, and we look forward to coming back soon. For everybody here at SoCalCollegeSports.com and the VC Sports Network, thanks so much for joining us. So long, everybody.